Hello and welcome to MythCraft, an epic role-playing saga. Today I'm going to go over a quick tutorial for how to create a character in MythCraft. And I'm joined today to walk through this tutorial with me with my good friends Cody and Roger. Cody, can you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Cody. You probably know me from the Homebrew Network. I play Carl and Grundle and all kinds of cool characters. Uh, Editor and D&D player for a long, long time.
And
Perfect.
hi, everybody.
Awesome. Yep.
My name is Roger Perky, and you probably do not know who I am because I'm a new face to the network, but I'm super excited to be here hanging out with these two going through character creation. Soon, though, you will get a chance to hear my voice, at least, coming up on MythCraft the Pod, which I am so very much looking forward to getting into. So, pass it back over to you.
All right, awesome. And I am Nathan. I'm the lead game designer for MythCraft. I'm also the game master for Sanity Damage, which is one of the network podcasts. You've probably heard me there, as well as a voice actor on the recently wrapped up show Power Word Fail. So thanks for tuning in. Let's get down to character creation. So MythCraft is one of the big selling points is it's got a really robust character creation system compared to like 5th edition. So let's take a quick look at that here. That's not the right page. Thought that it was. We'll get there. This beautiful PDF. Yeah, exactly. All of the pages are good. Excellent layout by our own Jake Neese. Here we go. Okay, so creating your character, we've got 6 steps to kind of break it down. We're going to choose a lineage, assign attributes, note our stats, determine our background, pick a profession, and take a starting talent. We're only going to focus on level 1 right now. We'll do a video later on about the leveling up process and how you level up and what you get when you level up. But for now, let's start by picking a lineage. So Cody and Roger, just for the sake of example, let's talk through your characters for the upcoming MythCraft the podcast. So Roger, what lineage are you planning on taking?
I will be going with the human lineage. The idea that the inspiration behind this is it's scrappy, like jack of all trades type of mentality. So you got lots of really cool lineages in MythCraft, but I wanted someone who maybe doesn't have some of the other supernatural effects. I want someone who's picked themselves up with their bootstraps. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And Cody, I think you're a human too, right?
Yeah, I'm a human too, but for a slightly different reason. Humans get this ability called Determined, and I play Old Man Harlow, and he's on his last legs here. And that ability, if you hit 0, you immediately get 1 extra HP. So I imagine some really great roleplay opportunities where I'm, very near death, but my willpower is able to keep me going.
Yeah.
Classic Uno reverse card.
Exactly. Yeah. That's funny. I am also going to be playing a human in this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, the main reason I took human is because I thought there's probably not going to be very many humans, and I want humans to be represented. And here we are, all playing humans.
This is the time when we put the stinger into the video. Well, everyone, just so you know, there's so many other amazing lineages in MythCraft.
Exactly. Tune into the podcast. I think we're the only 3 humans out of a party of 6. So you'll see, one of my personal favorites to write was the Kleppen, this woodland critter folk race. We've got your red wall characters here. So there's definitely a lot of other lineages. We may glance at a couple, but let's focus in on human here for a minute. So, you've got kind of your flavor text, you've got your culture, and obviously human culture is vastly diverse. So it's just kind of anything goes, right? It depends on where you're from and what your upbringing was. Got some common traits along with statistically significant size and base speed. Appearance and lifespan isn't really mechanically relevant, but got some guidelines there. And then at level 1, you have these starting features. So you've got your tenacious ability, which is you get 1 additional point in an attribute of your choice, but still cannot exceed the limits imposed by attribute caps. So we'll get to that in step 2 when we assign our attributes. You also get a unique ability. As we were designing our MythCraft lineages, we wanted to be sure that none of the lineages feel like a monolith, because while all lineages, like people of a certain lineage will have certain characteristics in common with one another, they are by no means like all exactly the same, right? Even the robotic remnant race are vastly different in like how they were built and what they were built for. So we represent that with the human lineage and with a handful of other lineages by letting you pick a unique ability at level 1. So Roger, I believe you mentioned Scrappy. Is that the ability that you took, or was that just a word choice?
I took Fast Friends, and I'm looking forward to taking Scrappy very soon.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Fast Friends gives you some more skill points, whereas Cody, it sounds like you took Determined.
Yeah.
Which I also did. So I may,
Nice.
I may pivot into something else just to give us a little bit more spread. But yeah, at first level, you get to pick one of these to kind of differentiate yourself, make yourself a little bit unique. And then at future levels, you're able to take more features. And we'll talk about that kind of in more depth in our level up video. Just to give kind of a quick glance at another lineage, let's look at Ketic, which are our like cat folk. You have your basic information about them. You can be small or medium. You get to choose that when you create your character. Like, are you more house cat sized or more like wildcat lion sized? You get, similar to humans, you get your starting features. You've got dark vision. You've got 9 lives, which is a fun ability. Usually you die when you reach 8 death points, but the catfolk gets 9 because of course they do.
Very
And
fun.
yeah, and then just like the humans, at first level you get a unique ability. Unlike the humans, you've got a different list that's more like kind of cat themed. So that's step 1, picking your lineage. Let's look at step.
And all the lineages have features like that.
Yeah, all of the lineages have their own unique features. Kleppen gets kind of a weaker ability at level 1, but you get to pick 2 options from the list. So that's because Kleppen represent like all of the forest folk, and that's a very diverse thing to try to encapsulate. Yeah. So we just thought, let's let them pick 2 things. Let's see. Second step, and I'm going to go back to kind of the character creation preface here. Second step is assigning attributes. MythCraft is kind of a fantasy sci-fi role-playing game focused on fantasy right now. We'll get to the sci-fi supplements at a future date. So some of the attributes are going to be very familiar. We've got strength, dexterity, and endurance, which are like your physical attributes. We've got awareness, intellect, and charisma, which are your mental attributes. And those are obviously like similar to Pathfinder, D&D, other fantasy role-playing games. They encapsulate some of the same 6 core abilities. We also have metaphysical attributes, which are luck and coordination. Luck represents your general ability to have things go well. Sometimes your MC, your MythCrafter, which is like your game master or your dungeon master, they might ask you to make a luck check. If there's an ability or a situation that isn't really well encapsulated by one of the other attributes, that's where luck comes up. It's kind of the catch-all. How's the weather? Is it in your favor? Roll a luck check, see if it's sunny or rainy based on kind of what you need. Like if the MC hasn't prepared that, that's where luck comes up. Luck also can increase your ability to crit. It can increase the amount of damage you do on a crit, which definitely great for those of us doing luck builds, which again, Cody and I are both doing luck builds.
Like a half luck build.
Yeah, I'm going full luck, so we'll have some differentiation there. And for every 2 points of luck that you invest, you get 1 luck, or sorry, for every 2 luck you have, you get 1 luck point. You can spend luck points to reroll your d20s, kind of like the inspiration mechanic or the advantage mechanic in 5th edition, but it's something built into your character instead of like handed out by the game master. And coordination represents your overall metaphysical ability, your blend of mental awareness and physical coordination. It's your ability to get stuff done in a succinct fashion. So the more coordination you have, the more you're able to accomplish on a given turn in combat. It doesn't really come up outside of combat, but it's definitely important because for every 2 luck points you get 1 extra action point. We'll have a whole video on combat explaining how action points work, but essentially the more action points you have, the more you're able to do on each of your turns. And so what's your spread of attributes? Have you guys both figured that out for your characters?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Let me pull that up.
All right.
While you pull it up, I'll go ahead and dive in. So I took advantage of one of the really cool things in MythCraft, the ability to like give yourself the negatives. And so I have dipped down into a -2 strength so that I could have a little bit more charisma, whenever I need to like get some things done appropriately. So the spread that I went with for my stats, I've got the -2 in strength. I am going to take that +1 into Dex. I'm going to let my endurance ride at the 0. And then as I move across over to my awareness, I kept that at a 1. But for intelligence and charisma, I put both of those up to a +2. Luck, we've got other people who are taking care of the luck in this, so I left that ride at a 0 as well. But coordination, I'm really focusing on the idea of maximizing the action points that I have per round, because I'm bringing this troubadour energy. I want to be able to offer up those reactive action points to others. And if you're doing the math, you might be saying, Roger, that's an extra point. Well, that comes back into play because we've got the tenacious human ability, which I'm able to stack in a little bit of extra. So it's hopefully going to be a good balance. I'm excited to be a smarty pants, and I'm excited to certainly do 0 lying.
Right, of course. which was also very truthful when you just said that, right? Yeah. So you mentioned you had an extra point. I think I forgot to mention earlier, when you make your character, you get 5 attribute points that you can assign across your 8 attributes. But as Roger said, he took a negative to gain additional positives elsewhere. So you're able to do that as you design your character as well. So Cody, what was your spread?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I dumped strength completely, though. I went all the way down to a -3, which is as far as you can go into the hole. But Old Man Harlow, he's not a very strong guy, but he is fast. So I gave him +2 Dex. Again, he's an old man. I felt like it'd be really weird if he was super beefy and had crazy endurance.
Yeah, he's got a good shuffle.
I didn't take a dip in it, but I did let it ride as well. My awareness is +2. My intelligence and charisma, I didn't add anything there. But luck and coordination, I did bump up to as well.
Nice.
And then I get an extra point because I'm human. So altogether with my dip, I think it was a pretty worthwhile dip.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe
I just get crushed by
as long as someone else is strong. And I think we're going to have at least one strong character. We should be okay. Just hope you don't get separated from the party. So step 3 of character creation, let me pop down to that graphic again. Step 3 is noting your stats. So that's going to be your hit points, your action points, and your various defenses. So your hit points, that's going to be either 13, which is what we have on this graphic here, or it's going to be 10 plus 1d4 plus 1. The reason for that is your hit points are determined by your endurance score. And so assuming that you have between a 0 and a +2 with your endurance, you're going to have a d4 for your hit point die. And this is based on your endurance instead of based on your overall class, because as we'll get to in a minute, you don't actually get a class at level 1. You start out just as an adventurer. That's one of our big selling points, right? You make your own path in the world as you're going through, and so you may actually choose not to take a class ever. I haven't seen a super viable build for that yet, but it could happen. We could get there. I'm excited to see the first really strong classless build that someone comes up with. Anyway, back to hit points. As your endurance increases, you can increase your hit die, or your hit point die, going up from a D4 all the way up to a D12 once you max out your endurance. I suppose I should back up for a minute because I didn't define the spread of attribute points. So as Cody mentioned, -3 is the furthest down you can get. You can get up to a plus 12 eventually, but you are limited by what's called an attribute cap, which is half your level rounded up plus 1. So at levels 1 and 2, your attributes can't exceed a 2. At levels 3 and 4, they can't exceed a 3. 5 and 6, they can't exceed a 4, and so on and so forth, up until I think it's level 21 when you can get up to a 12. No, it might be a level 23. Anyway, it's one of those like higher levels when you can finally max out your attributes. So your defenses are the other stats that you'll want to take note of. Your armor rating is going to be a flat 10, and then you modify that based on the armor that you take, the shields that you equip, that kind of stuff. Your reflexes, fortitude, anticipation, logic, and willpower are your 5 like secondary defenses, and those correlate directly with your dexterity through your charisma, like per attribute. So strength doesn't have a defense, and your metaphysical, luck, and coordination don't have defenses, but the other 5 attributes do. And so that's just going to be 10 plus your attribute. So you both, let's see, took a flat 0 in endurance, so your fortitude would be just a flat 10.
Right.
Some armor increases that, some shields increase that, some talent points increase that. So there's ways to get around that, but just at a baseline, that's what you're looking at. And the last thing, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is your action points. That's going to be 3 plus 1 for every 2 points you have in coordination. So Roger, starting at a 2 in coordination, is going to have 4 action points. Once he's able to get up to 4 coordination at level 5 or 6, then he's going to have 5 action points. And so that will cap out, like, the maximum action points you could get is 9. But then certain classes allow you to exceed that limit to an extent. So like the most action point optimized build you could get would put you at 12 action points per round, which is a lot of things you can do.
It's a lot of choices.
Yeah. And again, we're talking like early 20s. MythCraft goes level 1 to 30. So in like a level 1 to 20 system, you're looking at level like 15, 16 for like kind of a frame of reference. Like it's tier 4 late game play when you're able to do that kind of stuff. Let's see. So we've got our attributes. We've got our stats. I'm not sure why my PDF is spasming here. Sorry about that. All right. So we're going to determine our background and pick a profession for steps 4 and 5. Let's see. Page 53. Except my PDF is off by 1. That's fine. Because it takes the cover page as part of it. So we've got 9 backgrounds to pick from, and then we've got a lot of professions to pick from. Your background gives you basically a set of skill points, and it gives you an occupation tag, which if you match that with the profession that you choose, then you get like a small additional skill point bonus. So out of the 9 backgrounds, we've got born warrior, criminal, entrepreneur, knave, noble title, outlander, student, true believer, and urchin. There are 7 occupation tags. So one of each of these backgrounds matches one of those occupation tags. And then we've got knave and urchin, which are like the special backgrounds that do different things. So what did you two pick for your backgrounds?
Old Man Harlow, he's got a criminal background. I'm sure we'll find out more about that in the story.
Of course he does. Right. And sorry, Roger, remind me your character's name. I know we've got Old Man Harlow, and then...
As a counter to Old Man Harlow, I have Lucian. Lucian is who I will be playing. And Lucian is a knave, which gives me some really cool opportunities. Yeah. It allows me to not have to worry so much about that solo profession and, to dabble in a few things, like possibly thievery and entertaining and various things like that.
And truth-telling.
Yes, among other things, yes.
Why not?
Right. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at criminal. You've got your flavor text, get the ideas flowing, and then you get 12 skill points. So instead of having like proficiencies, you just have skill points. And so let's say, I don't know, what's an example, Old Man Harlow, that you took skills in? Or
I put sneaking and evading pretty high.
Okay. Yeah, so let's look at sneaking here, it'll be under subterfuge, or where is sneaking? I forget.
Oh, I think I actually took sneaking from my profession.
Okay. So yeah, let's look at evading then. So evading is an intelligence-based skill. It's your ability to, like flip your coat inside out, take your baseball cap off, blend into a mall, like shake a tail in a crowded area, as opposed to sneaking, which is like dodging and ducking, staying in the shadows, hiding behind trees so that people don't see you. Like they achieve the same thing, just one is for like nature and one is for urban areas. So intelligence or evading being an intelligence-based skill. Remind me what your intelligence is, Old Man Harlow, or your intellect?
Flat 0.
Okay. So if you were to make an intellect check, say to like recall historical information, you would just roll a d20 and it would just be a flat 0.
Right.
But when you're evading, it would be that same bonus, in this case of +0, but you would also add your evading bonus of what, +4 or +5.
I mean, after my profession and everything, it ended up pretty high. But I did go ahead and put 6 points into it from the maximum that I'm allowed to put into it from my skill.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because each background has like a focus where you can put more skill points into one thing, and then you can put fewer skill points into other features. So yeah, let's say like if you did have a +2 to intellect, then you'd roll like a 1d20 +2 for that intelligence check. You'd roll a 1d20 +2 from your intelligence, and then plus your evading on top of that to get like a much higher bonus when you're using evading. Now, the fun thing about skills in MythCraft is it's up to you as the player to remember which skills you have, because not every player has every skill. It's just a matter of which ones you choose to put points in. So when the MythCrafter asks for a check, they're only going to ask for an attribute check, like give me a dexterity check, and then you can say, hey, MythCrafter, I have a bonus in sneaking, which feels relevant to this situation. So can I add my sneaking bonus? So it's up to you to kind of bring that to the forefront, like at relevant situations.
Utilize role play, advocate for your own skills.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, Knave is fun, as Roger was hinting at, because your skills, you only get +4 in savoir-faire. Pardon my French. Savoir-faire.
Literally.
Right. Which is just like your ability to like blend. You know how to speak like a noble. You know how to speak like a peasant. You can mix and match like based on what company you're in. But what's fun is you get to pick 2 professions, gaining the starting equipment, skill points, and abilities of both professions. And then as opposed to criminal, which only gives you 1 profession of your choice. And then we'll juxtapose that with urchin, which is my character. Hildegard of Delph. Hildegard has no professional experience of any kind. I'm just a lowly urchin. And unlike Lucian, who gets 2 professions, I get 0 professions, but I do get 24 skill points. So that's kind of the trade-off.
That is nice.
Very nice.
It is nice. Yeah, but I don't get all of the fun like professional ranks, which we'll get to now. So I recall before recording you were saying Old Man Harlow is a thug. Is that right?
Yes. Old Man Harlow is a thug.
Old Man Harlow has a story, right?
Oh yeah. Many stories, and meandering stories at that, I'm sure. And Roger, what are Lucian's 2 professions?
Yes, so we went with the thief and the entertainer.
Thief and entertainer.
Very
okay,
nice.
So let's see. Entertainer. So let's look at this. You get starting equipment based on your profession, which sucks for Hildegard because she doesn't have a profession. And you get skills additionally based on your profession. So you get +3 in entertaining as an entertainer, right? That's kind of obvious. And then you get +1 in 3 additional skills of your choice out of like a curated list based on what entertainers would need to be good at. Now, because you're a knave, you get that in addition to your thief profession. There's a lot of professions, as I said, so we'll scroll down here. And both Entertainer and Thief also come with a rank 1 feature, a rank 1 ability. And these are mainly like roleplay things. Like they're not going to come up a ton in game sessions, but maybe between sessions if the MythCrafter is like, all right, everyone has a week of downtime. What do you do? That's where these like really come up, because it shows like mechanical ways that you can, like second story work, like ways you can sneak in and steal things from people, see how much you can fence them for, that kind of stuff. And these, what's that?
Allegedly, yeah.
Oh, right, of course. And then we'll get to this in our level up video, but these ranks improve slowly over the course of the whole campaign. Old Man Harlow, of course, can basically do like protection rackets to force people make sure that he's keeping them safe, right? Because we wouldn't want anything bad to happen to them.
Right.
That's steps 4 and 5. Let's get back to our handy dandy. This is a Hondu, by the way. This is our dog person, and I just adore this artwork.
Great art.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. It's a beefy dog.
Strong boy.
Yeah. All right. So the last step is picking a starting talent. And real quick before I get to this, there's a note writing down the rest of your equipment. In addition to the starting gear that you get from your profession, everyone gets like a base set of starting gear, which is like your basic weapons and like toolkits and trinkets that are just personal effects. Everyone, even poor Hildegard, gets like that same starting set of equipment that you get to pick from. So that's later in the like equipment chapter in our PDF here. We're not going to bother looking at it. Just know you get a little bit more besides just your starting like professional equipment. So the last thing is your starting talent. And this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the game. This is like what you're good at. These are abilities that either lurk in the background that improve your defenses or make you better at certain skills, or these are like active abilities that you get to choose to use. Like there's probably some on this combat page. Let's see. There's got to be one. Bull Rush. Where's Bull Rush?
Oh, first one under combat.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is like an active ability. If you move 10 feet or more, then you can make an attack and try to knock someone over. So just a fun thing that you get to do that you wouldn't otherwise normally be able to do. We'll talk in more detail about that kind of stuff when we make our combat video. But at level 1, you'll pick from this list of specialization talents, or you'll pick a magic entry talent if you go the magic route. And we'll have a video dedicated to magic at a later point. But you can pick from all of these different abilities, combat focus, defense focus, or like, I think what a lot of us did was we went with a skill, which just like lets you focus in on one skill, gives you a little extra ability. Like my character is very fortuitous, I believe is here we go, fortuitous. So I crit on a fortuity check when I roll a 17 to 20 instead of just a 20. So yeah, that's pretty fun. How often is it going to come up? I don't know, but it's cool. It's cool that when it does, I've got a good chance of critting. So these are just little things to improve your character. You get one at every level. So level 1 to 30, you'll have roughly 30 talents by the end. There are some ways you can actually get a few more than 30 talents. We'll get into that later with like specific videos. But these are just ways to really define your character. And there are obviously so many of these just specialization talents. We haven't even looked at classes yet, that you really like begin to see just the vast possibility of combinations that you can make when you're designing characters. So that's it for creating characters. At level 2, you become eligible to take a class. So we'll talk about that a little bit at when we make our level up video. Just out of curiosity, what did Old Man Harlow and Lucian take for your level 1 specialization talents?
Page first.
Well, I really like that idea of just being too crotchety to die. So I think I'm going to take the Ain't No Grave. because I'm going with luck as well, and that is when you get death points at the end of when you get a death point at the end of your turn, you can instead use a luck point to remove the death point.
That is amazing.
Yep.
That is awesome.
So I feel like that's a pretty good, a really good role play opportunities for a dying old man.
Yeah.
I honestly love it. I mean, a very different direction. I imagine that if death comes knocking on Lucian's door, he will have nothing to fight against it, but he is just going to run as fast as he possibly can away from it and use his smarts. I've taken the skill stack of intelligence, so I could get a few more of the intelligent tag skills. So I know just a little bit more and can hopefully weasel my way out of some situations whenever I find myself there.
Very nice. Well, Cody, Roger, thank you for walking through this tutorial with me. Everyone, I hope you have a fantastic time crafting some epic myths, and I hope this video was helpful. We will talk to you soon to explain leveling up. See you then.